Good morning, and thank you for joining us here at the Azure Technical Keynote. Now, hopefully you were inspired by what you saw from Satya this morning. And now we have a chance to go deeper into the technologies across infrastructure, app dev, data, and AI. Now, I know that many of you have front row seats to the digital transformation that's happening in your organization and across your industry. And as technologists, we're kind of the critical drivers, those change agents that are helping make that digital transformation a reality. Now, I know that this just takes time, right? It doesn't happen in a single move or in a single moment. But as this happens, the outcomes, the stories that you are achieving are truly inspiring to us. And I wanted to share just a couple of those stories this morning. First is this organization. They're hiring more developers than Facebook today. They employ some of the top AI data scientists in the world, and they've deployed AI technologies that are having material impact on their bottom line. They have this cool, hip, funky offices in Austin to show for their tech culture. And this organization, it's Walmart. They have transformed to become a digital organization. Now, this company is based in Japan, and they've developed AI models for the hospitality industry that's delivered sustained business growth for their clients. And their lead data scientist is now producing AI models that are within 1% of accuracy of their actual business results. This organization is a tiny family-owned restaurant called Ebiya. And this waitress right here, Shinobu-san, is their lead data scientist. She used free online trainings and classes to learn Azure Machine Learning and Power BI, and her work is leading to shifts in the restaurant's layout, the menu, even the services, that has now led to a 10x increase in their sales. Their technology has caught fire in the small business community across Japan, and now is being used in some of the largest brands in that country. Now last, let's look at the manufacturing plant line. This is a place where technology hasn't always reached. When you're heads up, hands-on, technology isn't always available, and when it is, it might not be very useful. And while many of us in this room here today have seen our lives and our livelihoods changed by technology, it hasn't always necessarily been true for all employees across the globe. But now, with the cloud and the edge working together, this is changing. This is Chelsea Potts. She's a single mom with a high school degree. And she's historically only had access to minimum wage jobs. And she was thrilled to land a high-paying job at PACCAR because PACCAR is using a combination of HoloLens, Azure, and Dynamics 365 mixed reality applications. Chelsea's guided step-by-step through the complex process of putting together this truck part. And this has fundamentally changed Chelsea's economic opportunity and her ability to provide for her family. These stories are great examples of how customers are inventing with purpose on Azure. And it's this focus on your outcomes that helps us invent with purpose the platform and the features that you need to be successful. Now, to do this, it starts with ensuring that you have a future-ready platform, that where you have the technologies and the capabilities you need today, but we're also investing ahead of the curve in many of the things you heard Satya talk about to ensure you have what you need for the next 50 years as well. For developers, it's about ensuring that you can build with the tools you want, with the languages you want, and on the platforms you want, so you can innovate for your organization in the ways they're expecting you to deliver. And on the Azure team, we have always understood the importance of a hybrid approach across on-premises, clouds, and the edge. And you can count on us to make sure you can run your environment seamlessly and with consistency across management, governance, security, wherever multiple locations where your application resides. And ultimately, it's about trust. We're focused on trust every single day because we know trust is earned in the long term, but can be lost in seconds. That's why we invest $1 billion a year in cybersecurity and why we have always had more compliance certifications than any other public cloud provider. But it's also about being clear that we are a technology company and we are not going to compete with our customers. I'm incredibly proud that 95% of the Fortune 500 has trusted Azure for their business. Each of these organizations on this slide is using Azure in meaningful ways so they can invent with purpose. Now, to hear more about the innovations that's powering all of this, Please help me welcome Jason Zander, Executive Vice President of Azure.
Well, good morning, everybody. I want to add my welcome as well to Ignite. This is one of my favorite conferences from the engineering team, and it's a great opportunity for the whole team to come here. We love to show off some of the technology that we have built. We also love to hear the feedback from you. Now, we've got a huge agenda here. We're going to cover everything from infrastructure through artificial intelligence. Let's go ahead and get going. And I want to start off at the base with infrastructure. And the infrastructure piece starts off with the regions that we have around the world, 54. Now, these are designed specifically to get you as close as possible to your customers, as well as your own employees, so you can get maximum reach and expand your business. Now, most recently, since the last time you probably saw this slide, we have brought to general availability new regions in Germany and Switzerland, and we have a new region we've announced coming in Norway. Now, it's not just about these little dots, and they're big, massive data center regions that we have here. We also have 130,000 miles of fiber, both on top of continents and under the ocean, so we can connect all these together. In fact, that brings us to this most reliable network that we've put together here. We've got over 160 edge sites, 20,000 peering connections, and we can run 30 billion packets per second over the WAN, so you can get maximum connectivity. We also have Azure Express Route Global Reach, and that allows you to connect your data centers across this WAN together. Now, of course, infrastructure starts off with comprehensive VM offerings, because that's the base for the workloads that we're running, for all the container-based and serverless work. They all start off with VMs and move their way up. So if you think about this, we want a broad variety for every workload you're going to have, whether it's a very, very demanding data workload with lots of transactions, or even a gaming workload that would prefer a lot more RAM and CPU. So from cost-effective entry-level VMs to introducing the largest VM in the public cloud with 12 terabytes of RAM, we've got you covered for every one of those tasks. Now, I mentioned some of these really high-end data systems. I might be running something like SAP HANA or a very large SQL Server workload. So I want to have ultra-disk storage. It's the highest performing disks in the cloud. I can support up to 160,000 IOPS at 2 gigabits per second per disk, and 64 terabytes in size. And this one's super important. All my read-write latency is going to be less than a millisecond. So for those really super demanding workloads that I've got on the back end, we've got fantastic virtual machines, and I can pair it with Ultra disks, and I can run them with no problem. Now, the next thing we want to be able to do is have our virtual desktop environment. And we most recently brought to GA Windows Virtual Desktop. There's over 13,000 customers using WVD already, companies like Fidelity Information Services. And this is the only VDI solution out there that has multi-user Windows 10 support with that desktop experience. And you really only pay for what you're going to use it. Now, we have an extensible ecosystem with awesome partners like Citrix, so I can run virtual apps and desktops in that environment. So if you're already partnering with both of us, you're going to be in good shape. And later this year, we're going to preview a VMware Horizon Cloud support as well. And we didn't stop there, because we know that in your data centers, you may also have other types of compute and workloads that you're running. And so we built purpose-built infrastructure, everything from Cray, NetApp, SAP, and VMware, to make sure that there was no friction or blockers for you to be able to take your workloads and get them into the Azure data centers. Now, we're the only cloud that has this relationship with Cray, for example, and you can get access to the highest performance HPC file systems with Cray Cluster Store in Azure. And we're also the only public cloud with native NetApp file support as well, so you can get the fastest possible IOPS with our partner. Now, SAP recently announced that Azure is their preferred cloud. And we've done a significant amount of work in our partnership with them to make sure that we are the best cloud environment to run SAP HANA. We're able to scale up to 24 terabytes of RAM on one machine, and we can scale out to 120 terabytes with this purpose-built hardware. And we've done 31 SAP certified configurations. And also by adding the NetApp's file system that I mentioned just before, we can actually get an extreme performance of up to 300,000 IOPS per second for that workload. So again, going to even the next level up. So you're going to be able to accelerate that business insight and be able to get access And as you can see, as a preferred cloud, we've got a lot of customers in multiple industries that have taken the bet for their enterprise-level workloads for SAP in this partnership. We've also extended our partnership and work that we've been doing with VMware to introduce Azure VMware Solutions. This is basically allowing us to natively run VMware solutions in the Azure data centers. Now, this is awesome because it means that you can leverage the investments that you have already made in partnering with VMware. And for those of you that are trained and skilled in the VMware ecosystem and those tools, it means that you can use all the tools and the experience that you have to target this environment. And also, because of this direct integration that's here, it's coming directly from Microsoft, you can also enhance those VMware workloads if you'd like to add additional support for things like analytics and AI going forward. Now, there are thousands of customers that are actually making this migration move today in order to get into Azure, looking for operational efficiency, that security and compliance, and the application innovation. Let's go ahead and take a look at some examples.
As Albertsons company, we have invested very heavily in our digital platforms to meet the changing requirement of our customers. We have transitioned all of our customer-facing applications into Azure.
We were able to bring our own architects and engineers and our DevOps teams working together with Microsoft to come up with a plan on migration.
Our Microsoft partnership, it helps us leverage their innovation to power our growth.
H&R Block has a storied history. The tax industry has evolved tremendously over the last 60 years.
We knew that cloud migration was important. We needed to modernize.
It is very critical that we pick our data platforms with scalability, high availability, and security. That's a big impact to the business. We served almost 20 million tax returns using our DIY and account manager applications, which were running in Azure.
Migration to Azure has really helped us accelerate our journey.
The pH scale was invented at Carlsberg. We are a beer science company. We wanted to get a really scalable, efficient, secure, lower cost IT to come up with a digital solution to market at a much faster scale. The cloud migration was a way to streamline and clean up our IT.
We went for Azure for SAP because of the track record. What we have is now a foundation that will allow us to scale all of the solutions across every market, across every region in Carlsberg.
Thank you so much. Now, I'm now joined by Aditya from H&R Block. Now, Aditya, tell us a little bit about H&R Block and your decision to move to the cloud.
Absolutely. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely.
H&R Block, we are a tax preparation services company, and we were founded in 1955. Mm-hmm. And over the last 60 to 70 years, there have been tremendous changes within the tax preparation industry. And as we look today, Block is the only company within the tax preparation industry that actually offers the range of choices to clients in how they want to get help for preparing taxes, whether they want to do it in person or online. And we are, of course, a very seasonal business. But to just give you an idea of that seasonality, we file about over 25% of our returns for the annual volume is done over a period of 2 weeks in the season. And that, of course, requires a very resilient and elastic infrastructure because you want the resiliency when it really counts. And that makes it a perfect candidate for leveraging cloud-based delivery model to really deliver the expertise and care that our clients expect and need every single time they interact with us.
No, that's massive seasonality. It's a perfect idea and think of taking advantage of the cloud with that. So you made the decision. Now, what did the actual journey to moving to the cloud? What was your approach to moving to the cloud?
Yes. So for us, actually, migration to the cloud was really a part of a broader digital transformation that's going on at Block. And from that perspective, as we look at the key drivers, of course, we saw cloud migration as a key accelerator to the digital transformation. And for that reason, we took a very aggressive approach to migrating to the cloud. We looked at different options, and we realized that actually we won't really learn what we needed to learn to operate in the cloud by just dipping our toes in the water. We had to just dive in. And that's what we chose. We took a very aggressive approach, and we dove in last year.
Well, that's interesting because I know when we talked, you said H&R's culture in general is a little bit more conservative, but you decided just it's time to go in. We're not going to learn as much if we don't jump in. So interested in how you did that.
I think part of it is really when you look at it more from a digital transformation perspective, the way your calculus for risk and reward shifts.
Okay.
Right? Because you want to drive the transformation faster and get to the market benefits that you want to get to, and deliver the capabilities you want to deliver to our clients faster. And that kind of shifted our approach to take a more aggressive approach as opposed to maybe take 3 years to get there.
Right, and as you said before, if once you go in, then you really learn, and you can be agile and learning and changing once you've kind of really done something material, right?
Yes. And I think part of that learning is really just commitment to learn and the partnership with the Microsoft engineering teams to kind of learn together and work through those issues.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, you've migrated very significant applications to Azure, and interested in what are you seeing for that? What kind of results are you seeing?
Yeah, so we actually looked at our portfolio, and over a period of 6 to 9 months leading up to this past tax season, we migrated some of our critical key client-serving applications, and we served over 20 million clients in 2019 tax season on Azure. They were using the Iot platform, they were using our assisted services on Azure platform. And as we look back at that, really this was hand in hand with another transformation that we're driving, where we started to drive stronger adoption of ADO and DevOps practices within our development teams. And that meant just delivering iterations faster, deploying quicker. And we also really started to heavily leverage Azure Data Services and Azure Services to actually build smarter, more intelligent solutions and models that give our client more personalized experience, an experience that's much more relevant to their tax situation, giving them tax tips that are most relevant to where they are.
Right. So starting with that migration, but then moving into really shaping that data culture that you're working towards. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much, Aditya, for being here and for joining us today. Thank you again.
Absolutely.
All right, take care. Perfect. Now, we've had a chance to work closely with customers like H&R Block and thousands of others around migration to Azure. And we brought this experience together into a single program for every customer called the Azure Migration Program. And what Azure Migration Program does, it brings together the best practices, the tools, the resources, and the expertise both from within Microsoft as well as our best specialized partners in this area as well. And every customer, large or small, can take advantage of the Azure Migration Program. So I certainly encourage you to do that. Now, beyond migration, we've also heard from you that you want best practice guidance based on real-world experiences on how to best use Azure and run your systems over time. And this is why we created the Cloud Adoption Framework that brings together kind of that true, real-world, proven experience for the entire life cycle, from planning and readiness and adoption into ongoing management and governance of your environment in Azure. Now, the Cloud Adoption Framework is based on, again, proven experience, and so you get that direct access to wisdom and insights about how to take advantage of the cloud in the most optimal way. So with that, back to Jason.
Thank you, Julia. Now I want to dig next into hybrid. And the key thing for us, and this has always been true, hybrid, we believe, is a permanent state. It's not just a transition. We made hybrid a standard solution when our competitors, frankly, were just playing it lip service. We think it's super important for your everyday work that you're doing, and I want to tell you what we're doing. Now, the first question is, well, why hybrid? I mean, for one thing, we all have our own data centers in a lot of cases, and I need to keep them. I'm going to keep running them, even while I'm also leveraging the cloud. I've also got edge deployments. Maybe you're running a factory if you're in industrial. Maybe you're running smart buildings, hotels, take your pick. And I want to be able to run them disconnected. Don't ever tell me that my factory is going to stop working because somebody took a backhoe through a fiber link. So you need disconnected solutions. You may want to make additional regulatory requirements. And of course, we want to have that cloud modern application programming model. And so we've moved to create hybrid. And we've embraced and supported hybrid since day one, and it's only getting better. We want you to be able to continue to make leverage of what you've got and the new scenarios that are there. Now, we think that the hybrid existence, it requires several key capabilities: unified governance, consistent management, comprehensive security, integrated identity, and universal DevOps. Now let's go ahead and look further into our hybrid solutions, and I want to start off with two parts of this, Azure IoT and with Azure Stack. Because as businesses continue to expand the compute to the edge, then the capabilities that we build there, they have to be not only the apps, but also the management of that. And let's start off with Azure IoT. And this is a case where we have thousands of IoT certified devices. Now this is super interesting because, of course, every industry has got unique things that it needs to do. And that means that you're quite likely going to wind up with certain requirements in your devices. Everything from the smallest microcontroller unit that might be the size of your fingernail up to larger systems that are going to run advanced sensor nets in addition to potentially doing command and control for robotics and other bigger uses like that. Now we've also built out a very large partner network, and these partners know both these devices and they are industry experts. So if you are in manufacturing, we can help you find somebody that's found the best way to pair up the device ecosystem and give you the best return on that. Now, in addition to that, we've done some additional work directly inside of Azure and across the company with Azure Edge devices. Starting off with Sphere, microcontroller unit with security built in. In fact, you can see one of the chips on this dev kit on the left. HoloLens, which brings basically virtual into the physical world, where I can start doing really cool things like looking at time series data, but actually in the physical world. Azure Connect, which gives me depth cameras and a new way to do image recognition. And of course, the Azure Stack portfolio, which is designed to give us compute, ubiquitous compute at the edge with the ability to run AI. That's why we're also very pleased to have introduced today, and hopefully you saw in Satya's keynote and out on the demo floor, the new Azure Stack Edge solution we've got. This is again designed to bring that compute AI off to the edge. We have a commercial series that you can see here. This is a rackable version, which means that I can stick it into the rack, perhaps in the back of a retail store or on the factory floor or in a building, wherever I need to have it. And we also came along and added the rugged version as well. And you can see here it comes with battery power, and it's been ruggedized, so it can be more portable. I can take it with me if I have to. It's going to get bounced around, and that's okay. Now we're also introducing in preview MEC support. In this case, we're introducing support for private LTE or 5G access that you can also include with Azure Stack Edge. That gives me support for VEPC, packet core. That basically means that I can have customized networks without requiring specialized hardware. And we think that's going to open up a lot of great opportunity because now I can have Azure Stack Edge and connect a lot of devices to it. Now we took it one step further as well, and we actually introduced a backpack version. In fact, the version that you see here is a ruggedized version. It weighs 7 pounds. It has an onboard battery, and it's designed very specifically to get on the go. As you can see here, we have some of our search and rescue volunteers actually in the Cascade Mountain Range of Washington State. And this is an opportunity to both, you can see a rugged version on the truck, it can bounce around as much as it wants, but also this backpack version. Imagine being able to take a drone with you on search and rescue, do infrared search on cameras, and be able to actually execute the AI on your back. Part of our goal for some of this solution is to try and take technology and let it help people in cases where they really need it. Bring the compute to where the problems are. Basically take the intelligent edge anywhere you need to go. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the demo. I want to invite Chris Dickens on stage. Chris.
Thanks, Jason. Hurricane Michael was a heartbreaking natural disaster that impacted many of the communities in this region. After the hurricane, the Florida Civil Air Patrol flew planes around the area capturing images of the damage. Today I'm going to show you how the device Jason just talked about could help first responders understand the impact of tragedies like this and help plan the response. To analyze those images, we loaded them onto one of these rugged, portable Azure Stack Edge appliances. Then we used software from Esri. To build a map view by stitching the images together that first responders can view on-site from just a browser. But to help them understand the conditions, it even includes a 3D view that's built from AI and ML techniques. I'm going to have Cassie kind of walk through the map area while while I show you the device. Operating in the field is different than being in a data center. Lots of things can happen. For example, you can lose power, but that's okay because of the included battery. And then also, because conditions can be harsh, the device needs to be able to get bumped or bounced or even fall. But as you can see, it's still running, and Cassie is still able to browse around the map. With our rugged series of Azure Stack Edge appliances, we're bringing the power of Azure to where you need it to get your critical jobs done, no matter the conditions. Thank you all. Back to you, Jason.
Awesome, thank you. And yes, he did drop that. We tried it a few extra times just to make sure, but it needs to keep on working, but that is definitely the goal. So let's finish up and take a look at Azure Arc, which is something you hopefully saw this morning if you went to the keynote and saw additional work that's there. First of all, let's think about the problems that we need to be able to deal with. In particular today, as I mentioned, you might be targeting multiple clouds already. You might have your on-premises data center and you've got edge deployments, like I mentioned, the factory and things like that as well. And the truth is, as businesses continue to expand to the edge, you're getting even more of these types of solutions. And you're probably in a case where you might have multiple different types of technology that you're having pulled together, which basically makes it even harder to make sure that everything is secure and it's being managed in a very consistent kind of way. That's why we're very pleased today to announce Azure Arc and the preview for Azure Arc. It's a set of technologies that brings Azure services, governance, and management to any infrastructure. You can adopt the cloud practices that we have on premises, including DevOps and managing infrastructure change control, et cetera. And of course, we bring all those security work. So if you're already or have created things like security policy or management techniques and roles that you've got, and you're leveraging them in Azure, Azure Arc gives you a way to extend that. Now think about those use cases. There's several things we want to accomplish. We want to be able to manage virtual machines in Kubernetes at scale. In addition to that, we want to have access to our data and the modern data techniques that are there. So get those data services and have them run anywhere. And most importantly, we want to make sure that we organize, govern, and secure across all of these environments. Because I know at some point my CISO is going to come talk to me and they're going to basically say, we're deploying to our retail sites. Are we secure? Can you help prove to me we're in a good spot? Because we're going to protect the company. So that needs to be a core part of any solution that we put in place. Now, most of our workloads out there, they're going to have some kind of compute, and they almost always have data. And that's why we're pleased to bring the preview of Azure SQL Database and Azure Database for Postgres SQL as part of our Azure Data Services Anywhere. Now, this really allows you to be able to take the same database technology that you've been using in Azure and give us the opportunity to run it elsewhere as well. Now I can actually make sure I'm always up to date. I've got elastic scale, and I only pay for what I use. And most importantly, you can run it on any hardware that you have and any distribution of Kubernetes. Let's go ahead and take a look at all this stuff in action. Gabe, take it away.
Thanks, Jason. Hi, everyone. In Satya's keynote, we saw how Azure Arc enables Azure Data Services, bringing powerful database as a service capabilities to any infrastructure. Let's see how we can use Azure Arc to organize, secure, and govern Kubernetes clusters and applications on any infrastructure, including on-prem data centers, any cloud, or at the edge. So how does this work at a high level? Well, step one, we extend Azure management across all our infrastructure using Azure Arc, giving us a secure, organized, and governed foundation. Step two, we use Azure Policy to allow developers to safely and securely deliver applications and data services to any infrastructure. Let's see this in action. So Global Bank IT has 300 locations worldwide, and they're struggling to keep infrastructure compliant and up to date. It's taking a full year to refresh applications across all locations. That's about to change. Let's see what it would look like to deploy a new fraud app fully compliant with bank security practices using Azure Arc. Let's start with the Azure Portal and view our European branch offices. Now, here you can see we have a lot of clusters to manage in Europe: Athens, Budapest, Copenhagen. Now, lots of locations means it's easy to miss things and make mistakes. For example, accidentally leaving ports exposed has led to security incidents across the financial services industry. The bank security team has said that now developers cannot update any applications until IT can prove network ports are locked down. Now, IT already uses Azure Policy to enforce lockdown for servers and clusters in the cloud. Azure Arc extends Azure Policy on premises, enabling IT to inventory, organize, and govern branch locations the same way. Now we have one system to manage compliance across cloud and edge. Now, by clicking on Policies, we can go ahead and search for port. And you can see that we already have this policy to lock down network ports. It's already applied and at 100% compliance. Now, this is more than a one-time configuration. As soon as new clusters are connected to Azure, policies are automatically applied on management group, subscription, resource group, or tag. Now that IT has secured the infrastructure and can demonstrate 100% compliance, we're free to deploy the fraud application. For this, we're also going to use Azure Policy through Azure Arc. So let's see what it would look like for IT to enable developers to quickly and safely ship applications. IT starts by assigning a new policy. So here we're going to go to the search field for policy definitions, and we're going to search for policies labeled Kubernetes. And here's a policy that uses GitHub to manage workloads on a Kubernetes cluster. Let's use that. Clicking Next will bring up, Clicking Next will bring up the policy configuration screen. Now, this policy connects clusters to a specific Git repository. Any apps defined in this repo are automatically deployed to one or more linked clusters. Just like we use policy to keep applications, use policy to lock down ports, we're also going to use policy to keep applications up to date. Now, even better, if an application is modified at a branch location, that change is quickly reverted so the infrastructure remains compliant. Let's go ahead and apply this. Great. Now, while the application policy activates in the background, let's summarize what we've seen so far. All the clusters at our branch locations are managed through Azure Arc and Azure Policy. We have one policy that locks down network ports, and we have a second policy that deploys apps to our clusters. Azure Arc and Azure Policy actively ensures our clusters and apps stay in compliance and up to date. So let's put on our developer hat and see what it looks like for a bank developer to securely deliver applications using Azure Arc. Now, just a minute ago, we saw how IT linked their clusters to this GitHub repository. Thanks to Azure Arc, bank developers can update applications by simply opening a pull request, the same way they would update any code they're working on. Now, this is the pull request we're going to use to deploy the fraud app. Now, when we merge this pull request, this will start the update process, seamlessly deploying the application to 1, 5, and then hundreds of bank locations. Using a Git-based workflow lets developers, IT, security professionals, and business stakeholders view, comment, and approve any production updates. Because changes are recorded in GitHub, Global Bank IT streamlines change management with automated testing, centralized stakeholder sign-off, and logging for compliance and audit. So let's go ahead and merge this pull request. All right, with the pull request merged, the fraud application is now deploying to branches in the background. Think about it. Azure Arc just enabled on-demand developer self-service with centralized audit and compliance built in, and the developers never had to leave GitHub. Sure beats a once-in-a-year refresh cycle, right? Now, let's switch to North America and take a look at the branch that's already running the app. So we'll go ahead and drill in North America, look at Detroit. And first, you look at policies. And we can see that the port and network policies are already applied and compliant. Now, if we go to configurations and we open up the fraud app, we can see that the fraud app has been deployed successfully. How cool is that? But Global Bank IT's work isn't done. Everything they have deployed so far is on existing hardware. And with expansion plans for 50 new branch locations, they've chosen to standardize on Azure Stack Edge. With upcoming Kubernetes support on Azure Stack Edge, it couldn't be easier for IT to bring a new branch online. Select Create a Cluster, configure the cluster, hit Apply. Azure Stack Edge automatically provisions Kubernetes and includes Azure Arc out of the box. This means Global Bank IT can take an Azure Stack Edge, plug it in, power it on, and a few minutes later, the new branch is online, inventoried, fully compliant, running all the latest apps with central management and governance from Azure. Thanks to the power of Azure Arc, Global Bank IT can bring a new branch online over lunch instead of waiting days or weeks. Azure Arc makes it easy to adopt cloud practices on premises, to empower developers with self-service capabilities and the ability to choose their own tools, all with central IT guidance and governance from Azure. Now, this stuff is brand new, so we've added a bunch of sessions to the catalog. Make sure you check that out. The new sessions were just added today. Thanks, everyone.
In the energy industry, we have a vast amount of data. Now, machine learning and digital technologies make it possible to unlock those insights and transform our business.
DevOps as a methodology allows us to bring teams together and to move quickly and generate tremendous value, particularly through the energy transition, as we move from molecules to electrons.
We've been on an exponential growth curve. We have a data science network of around 2,000 people. At that sort of scale, we need to standardize the way we work. And that's why DevOps is so important. So as we've been trying to standardize AI across the enterprise and the way in which we develop new solutions, we've been working with Microsoft to leverage products like Azure Boards, Azure Pipelines, GitHub Enterprise, in order to ensure that our engineers and our data scientists are working consistently, that they can share code, and they can deploy them to the edge and the cloud easily. That's changed our development cycles from months to weeks.
Having GitHub Enterprise integrated with Azure makes it really simple for any collaborator on the project to follow the lifecycle of the code, knowing where it's at, where it has been deployed, and how successfully.
Well, Shell is a great example of our customers who adopt GitHub and Azure for their development and DevOps practices. So I want to drill next into some of these native developer tools and the work that we can do with cloud applications. And let's start off with Dev Tools and DevOps. Now, when we think about this, we're going to start off with Visual Studio. It's the best in class for every developer that's out there. We start off with our Visual Studio, the rich IDE that can run on Windows, that can run on the Macintosh, or Visual Studio Code that I can run in multiple platforms. And also the introduction that we announced earlier this year with Visual Studio Online, which I can do collaborative development and not really lose my place as I go. Now, there was a recent survey Stack Overflow did of over 90,000 developers. They found that nearly a third of developers listed Visual Studio as their core usage tool. And over 50% are leveraging Visual Studio Code. And the popularity continues to increase, and we see a ton of adoption. Now, we're very pleased today to announce in public preview Visual Studio Online. Visual Studio Online is designed as an on-demand development environment, and it's designed in the cloud. I can use Visual Studio Code directly, or I can use it right out of the editor if I need it. And there's a full extension marketplace that's there, and you have collaborative features like Live Share already built in. This is an awesome way to keep focused on the work that you're doing, even in the face of interruptions coming from the team. Now, GitHub is at the heart of the open source community, and it will always be an open platform. It supports all devs. There's over 40 million developers in the ecosystem, over 100 million repositories, and it's used by 2.1 million businesses and organizations. So it's clearly at the core of a lot of work that we do every day. Now, this combination of GitHub and Azure DevOps provides this really nice end-to-end solution for development teams, because when I get up and running, of course, I need to have a fantastic CI/CD loop. I want the experience to be able to deploy to any environment, such as Kubernetes on Azure, on-premises, or in the cloud, basically what you saw Gabe just show off. So that basically is the motivation for pulling these tools together. Now, we've got some really cool features here. I want to invite Donovan Brown on stage, and he's going to go through all of our developer tools updates. Donovan.
Thank you so much, Jason. I remember the first time I used a computer. I was staring at a DOS screen, completely confused, and had no idea what I was supposed to type. And then Windows came out, and I thought, this is how you're supposed to use a computer. And I was so excited, I wanted to learn how to program. then I was right back at the command line because my compiler ran at the command line, my linker ran at the command line. And today, our linters run at the command line, and our package management and our CI/CD systems all run from the command line. So it makes perfect sense why Microsoft is investing in a new terminal. This is the Windows terminal. It's a UWP application using GPU acceleration and also supporting modern fonts. What the modern fonts allow us to do is to have ligature support. A ligature is where you take multiple characters and you combine them into one. If you've ever written a lambda statement, you know it starts with an equals and then a greater than, but now we get this nice symbol that says this is what I'm trying to do. No matter what programming language you use, there's a way to ask, are two things not equal to each other? But the way that you ask for it is different. But what we're actually trying to say is this. This allows me to concisely say that is what I'm looking for. How many of you program in JavaScript? Anyone out there? Now you know that there's a certain number of equal signs you're supposed to use when you compare things, and when you get it right, we let you know, right? Now I can clearly see what it is I'm trying to do. Now there's some other examples. Let me go ahead and cat a file here for you. This is just a sample of the other ligatures that we support that allow your programming code and commands to be far more concise than they were before. Now, my favorite feature of the terminal is the ability to customize it. When I was a young boy, there was a movie that I really liked. It really inspired me about computers and taught me how powerful they were. The majority of that movie was done inside of a terminal. And I was wondering, is there any way I can customize this terminal to look like that one and kind of take me back in time? This movie was incredible. And then I realized that I actually can't do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I can customize this screen over here. Let's go ahead and clear this out. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to change the color of my cursor, for example. And then I'm going to change the shape of the cursor to make it a little bit more retro. I want to change the font face that I'm using, and I'm even going to change the schema that I'm using. When I click on save here, you can see I now have this cool kind of retro feel. Can anyone guess what movie this is? Everyone that's smiling and laughing, they're old, okay? But nevertheless, this is a cool feature that it is your tools that you develop with. They're like the instruments that we play. It's the way that we share our creativity, and you want to be able to customize them and make them fit like a glove. Here at Microsoft, we want to make sure that all developers feel unified, no matter what language you program in or what platform you target, which is why we actually support multiple platforms with our terminal. If you're using Windows Subsystem for Linux, every distro that you install will automatically show up here as an option for you. For example, I can come down here and choose Ubuntu. Now I'm actually using the power of Linux, but the productivity of Windows. Let me CD into this is a GitHub repository that I have of an application. It's running inside of Linux, so I have a different version of Python installed here. I'm using Linux tools, but I want to use code on Windows. And what I can do here is just type code, dot, and press enter. Now what's going to happen is code is going to launch on my actual Windows machine, but down here in the corner you can see that I'm actually connected to Linux on the back end. This terminal is also connected to Linux. If I were to come over here to my extensions, some of my extensions are installed locally, and the extensions I need inside of my Linux environment are only installed there. So I have these nice non-contaminated environments just for my development. Now the trick here is, for me to debug this, I need to have a part of my system start up on Linux, another part start up on Windows, and I want to be able to debug this the same way. So if I come over here to debugging, I press on start, that's exactly what's happening now. In the background, I have one piece, and in the foreground, I have another, and I can actually use and debug my application should I need to. Have you ever gotten that feeling that you see the name on your caller ID and you're like, I should not answer this phone call? Like, I'm having that feeling right now, but let's see what Scott has to say. Hey, what's going on, Scott?
Hey, how's it going there, buddy? Are you busy?
I'm kind of in the middle of something, yeah, actually.
No, you got time for this. Listen, I've got a really important thing I got to go to right now, and I've got a GitHub issue I need you to take care of. I've got brunch with Jay and Bay.
You wish.
Can you go ahead and take care of this? I just sent you a link to a GitHub issue.
All right, I appreciate it, Scott. Now, this is going to turn into a teachable moment. Because we've all been there. We're working on one thing, and then we have a context switch to something else. The context switch isn't the bother. The bother is making sure that your environment is set up such that you can even help that other individual. It might be in a different language. It might be on a different platform. It might be on a different operating system. But luckily for me, I can go ahead and click on this issue, jump into GitHub, and see if we can get something to work here. Down here, we have this link that says Visual Studio Online. Half of you are now having this deja vu moment saying, hey, I've heard of this thing called Visual Studio Online before. And your next thought is, Donovan, do not click that. That is not what you think it is, right? But I'm telling you, we reuse the exact same name, and it is exactly what you think it is now. When I click on this, I am taken to an area where I can spin up an entire environment. That link knows exactly what repository I'm using. It knows exactly what code I need to get to. It tells me how big the machine needs to be, and even what language or platform the machine needs to be on. When I click on create, it goes off and it starts to create this environment for me in the cloud. When I'm done, I throw it away. But when I need it, it's there for me. I've already spun one of them up, so let me just come over here and fire it up for you. Now this just isn't an environment, this is now my environment. All of my settings have roamed with me. My keyboard shortcuts, my customizations inside of the terminal, the color scheme that I use inside of my IDE. This now feels like home to me, and I can instantly start getting ready to help this individual with their work. So what I want to do here is let's go down. I think the problem is probably going to be over here. I've worked with Scott before, and I'm going to go ahead and press F5. Now think about what just happened. I'm using a machine that's out in the cloud, but I'm trying to debug it here locally. So if I come and click on this link here, what should happen is it's going to start to redirect me, figure out all the network configuration necessary, run it in the cloud, but let me debug this particular item locally. The issue says that when you run this particular API, you're not getting any of the results back. Now, if I come back over here, you'll notice I've already hit the breakpoint. So it's wired everything up for me. I've hit the breakpoint. Let's look around here quick. Okay, so this says it's none. If I F10 past this, then I'm going to query because this doesn't make any sense. Why would I check that it's none and then filter my list against none? Let's go ahead and let this run through real quick. As you can see, we have absolutely no results coming back. What I think this needs to be, however, is not none. So let's put not here instead. Let's go ahead and save this. I'm going to go ahead and save this off. Not none, good. Restart my debug session, come back over here and press F5. And what we should see now is I was able to use that environment, re-hit this particular environment here, and it should come back in and show me that I was able to make that correction. It's not going to pop up here. Oh, we started another one. Let me just go ahead and click this link and see what happens instead. It's spinning up in the background using all these resources, and boom, we have this enormous amount of JSON coming back, which means I was able to go back in and quickly fix a problem on an environment that I did not have to set up. That saved me hours potentially of trying to make sure that I had the right operating system, the right packages, the right versions of everything. Microsoft was a company created by developers. And as you can see with our investments in the terminal and inside of Visual Studio Online, we are still obsessed with developers. We want to make sure that everybody, no matter what language you program in or platform that you target, are able to do your best work. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, Donovan. I think after you fix that issue, Hansel needs to invite you to that lunch, man. So it gives you a good opportunity, as you can see, to have that collaboration. Now, as we continue our journey here through cloud-native applications, I want to talk about Azure Serverless. This is a case where you want to be able to focus on your apps and not the infrastructure. Let us deal with things like dynamic scale, let you go faster and make better use of your resources. Now, we've created a broad set of Azure Serverless compute solutions. It starts off with the app service, where I can host websites in addition to mobile applications. We can also move on to Azure Functions. This is where you want to focus on your code and the business logic and not on the plumbing. Because after all, as a developer, only you can write the code that you can write. So let's make sure you can concentrate and focus on that. And we also follow it up with Azure Kubernetes Service, AKS. It's a fully managed container orchestration for your workloads. We'll take care of operating and monitoring and maintaining the system, so you don't have to worry about downtime. Now, AKS itself has been the fastest growing Azure compute service that we've had. And you can see many customers that have taken a bet on AKS. And it continues to grow as we add new functionality. In particular, we're very pleased to announce the general availability of availability zone support, auto scaling, multiple node pools. We're introducing the preview of dev spaces to be able to develop and test locally, in addition to the preview for Azure Security Center. They give us full integration for AKS. So it really is the best kube environment that you can run on today. Now, if you look at all of these examples we've shown, all of this hardware on the edge, the workflow, the tools, the things that we can pull together, there's some fantastic examples of what I can do with that tech. Now, one of the best examples that we have is with IoT. Let's take a look at some of those examples. Azure is the undisputed leader in IoT when it comes to the cloud. We've been investing over $5 billion in our IoT ecosystem, from products and into our partner ecosystem. As you saw, we've got thousands of devices from virtually every industry out there that is connected with Azure. And we're working hard with our partners as well to empower customers to give you that important device insights. We really want to help you transform those business practices. Now, there's also thousands of Azure IoT customers that are out there today across many, many industries. Think from, for example, Bueller, making supply chain safer for the food that we eat. So Rolls-Royce in the video there with jet fuel efficiency and being able to figure out how to help airlines operate at the best cost possible. As well as Starbucks. Think about predictive maintenance on equipment that will both help partners in the store and customers make sure they have a fantastic experience. Now, we designed Azure IoT in order to help you transform your business. We wanted to make sure that it was a comprehensive solution, that it was simple to use, and of course it needs to be secure. So with that, we've introduced this industry-leading set of products and solutions here, from edge to the cloud. Now, the cool thing about this, and for those of you that are architects and developers, we designed this thing in a very layered fashion on purpose. It basically means that you can engage the portfolio where it makes sense. I can start off with infrastructure if I want. I can move up and leverage things like time series or digital twins as technology that's just built in at the PaaS layer, or I can go into fully managed SaaS services that just give me those solutions. And the cool thing is, once you get into the SaaS solution, if you need to drop down into the PaaS mode and add more power, more compute, add AI of your own, you can absolutely do that. You don't have to rewrite your assets. We finally have delivered a set of enterprise-ready industry solution accelerators, things like for factories, for example, that allow you to get going as fast as possible. And speaking of fastest time to value, we introduced a SaaS solution here, the first one in the IoT space, Azure Iot Central. Iot Central treats things like CRM treats customers. It makes it super easy to get up and running and started. Part of the quickness we have here is with Azure Iot Plug-and-Play, a plug-and-play standard that we've actually are pushing out for the industry to be able to leverage. And we're all familiar with being able to add devices and peripherals into our PCs. Now imagine being able to do the same thing with IoT devices in that ecosystem. And again, having the industry solutions allows me to get up and running as fast as possible. Now, we've talked a lot about security, and that's like super, super important. So we've also wanted to make sure that we put security into all of this. We start off with Azure Sphere, silicon that we've literally designed with security built in. It's designed to make sure that you're always up to date with your patches, so we can make sure that we're not going to have this probability of getting hacked because we're out of date. We've also extended Azure Security Center, which you're probably already using for the cloud, but now off into the IoT environments. And we've extended Azure Sentinel as well, so I can hunt to or respond for active threats spanning the entire enterprise. That includes not only the edge, but also your on-premises solutions that you have and the cloud. So I can see the entire thing from end to end. We're very pleased to announce today that we're going into preview with FarmBeats. Now, FarmBeats is an end-to-end solution that we've produced in the agriculture space. Now, this is actually super important. For one thing, it is actually a great way to show how all of this technology comes together. But more importantly, in this space, by 2050, we're expecting that we're going to need about 70% more food to feed the people on the planet. And over half of the world's fresh water will be leveraged for agriculture. Now, we got scarce resources there. That water is scarce. The land that we can farm on is also scarce. We have to make sure that we're doing a good job. And we believe that bringing technologies to bear in precision agriculture is going to be a great way for us to help out with that. So I want to send it back over to the show floor because we've got FarmBeats set up and ready to go. I'm going to hand it over to Jeff. Jeff, show us a demo.
What is up, everyone? I am having a blast here at the FarmBeats station, and I'm actually really proud to show you all some of the technology here about how Microsoft is helping solve some of the world's toughest problems. So let me just get down here from my tractor. By 2050, it's estimated that the world will need to produce 70% more food than we are, which is a daunting task because the amount of arable land that we have is actually decreasing. So farmers are going to need to find new ways to produce a larger crop. Now, one of the ways this will be made possible is through data from IoT devices like this one. I can use this sensor to assess the health and the moisture of the soil. But there's a few challenges that come when implementing a solution like this at scale. Now, one of them is cost. In order to have enough sensors to fill up an entire farm can cost tens of thousands of dollars, which is an investment that's out of reach for much of the world. So what FarmBeats has provided is a solution that instead of requiring hundreds of sensors, I only need a few. But I use the data from that sample and I combine it with machine learning to give me an accurate picture of the entire farm. So let's check it out now. I'm showing here a FarmBeats dashboard. You can see this is one of our farms. I only have a few devices here that we've added, but when I combine the data from those few devices with aerial and satellite imaging, I can run it through machine learning and get a heat map of the entire farm. Now I have data for my entire farm regardless of the size. And this type of innovation makes IoT more economical for these types of farming scenarios. But there's another challenge that I have when I'm dealing with IoT in really any industry, and that's that as I'm using IoT, I'm likely going to have a number of different devices. Each one of these devices from a different manufacturer, it sends data in different ways, it has different types of data, I connect to it differently. It's really challenging to start to onboard and integrate all these devices at scale with my application. And that's where I can start to use Azure Iot Central with Iot Plug-and-Play. So Iot Central is a single solutions platform for every IoT project. Farming, healthcare, manufacturing, a single spot that I can manage and monitor my devices. And with Iot Plug-and-Play, these devices can actually register themselves and integrate their data with my app. So I want to show you that now. Let's go ahead here and switch back to our Iot Central dashboard. So I already have a few devices that I've onboarded, in this case for my farm. So you can see here I have some simple soil sensors and a gateway that I can manage here in Iot Central. But now I have a brand new device. This is a device from a manufacturer that I haven't yet added to my solution. I know it has some temperature and humidity sensors, but I don't quite know how to connect to it. I don't know the format of the data that's going to be coming in, but I don't have to worry about any of that with Iot Plug-and-Play. In fact, all that I have to do is power on the device. So let me go ahead and do that now. And what's happening as this device is powering on is that it's connecting securely to my Iot Central app. It's letting Iot Central know about the type of device that it is. Think about how I can take any printer, plug it into a Windows machine, and Windows Plug-and-Play means that the drivers and everything gets configured for me. Iot Plug-and-Play is doing the same thing. The device is saying, hey, this is my device capability model. These are the sensors that I have, temperature, humidity. This is the format of the data that it's going to be flowing in. In fact, with Iot Central, manufacturers can even register their device with the Iot Plug-and-Play gallery so that these devices are extremely discoverable, but I can also include with them packaged dashboards so that I can immediately start to visualize and play with that data. Now what the result is that when I actually come back over here to our device list and click refresh, we should now see here a brand new device type has automatically been added. You can see here, this is my IoT device, and it gets even better. When I click to open this device, I have a pre-built dashboard with data that is already starting to flow in. This truly is plug and play. Now, this incredible technology can then be integrated with the aerial imaging and the satellite from before to power solutions like FarmBeats. And FarmBeats is using this technology to help feed the world. But every single person here at this conference can use these same tools and technology to take advantage of IoT Edge, Iot Central, and Iot Plug-and-Play. Combine that with an intelligent edge and an intelligent cloud to start to solve problems that can literally change the world. So thank you so much. I've got to get back here to managing my crops, so I'm going to pass it back to you, Jason, at the conference.
Awesome. Indeed, if you're going to keep bringing those microphones onto a tracker, we got to go create a ruggedized version of that one too. All right, so you can take a look at that, go over to the floor. There's a bunch of really cool things there. Now I want to move on into data and analytics. And when we think about data and analytics, of course, it's one of the core things that we're going to have as part of our solutions. We wanted a spectrum of options from relational, non-relational, data warehouse, and big data. I'm going to start off, of course, with relational. And for us, with relational starts with state of the art with SQL Server. We've had tremendous success in adoption of SQL Server itself, and I'm very pleased to announce the general availability of SQL Server 2019. Yes, SQL users, there we go, yeah. We're very happy with this. And the key thing to remember about SQL Server, it's not just a database. I mean, we've essentially continued to evolve it into an entire data platform. We're going to give you the ability to deliver a comprehensive set of analytics solutions as well. I can have structured and unstructured data. I've got Apache Spark support. So pretty much everything you'd expect to have in a modern version of a database. And SQL literally runs everywhere. And we had brought SQL Server 2017 to Linux, and it was downloaded more than 30 million times. And of course, we continue that on with SQL Server 2019. And our goal here is to make sure that you can run it best across, whether you're running an infrastructure or you're running it on top of the actual data service itself, if you're running in your own premises, or now in multiple clouds, in all sorts of locations with Azure Arc and with the Azure Database Edge on the edge. And SQL just keeps getting better. It is a place where we've done for built-in AI, so I can get peak performance out of that, and I can work directly with it. I've got serverless workload support, and we continue to give you evergreen support. That means you're never out of date on your version of SQL Server when you're running in Azure. And also, if you look at what GigaOM has measured on here, if I look at price and performance, especially over this 3-year period, you can see that we're up to 86% less expensive to run with the database as a service, Azure SQL DB, and up to 87% less expensive when you're running with Azure SQL virtual machines. So it's not only great technology, great performance, but also running at a great price on Azure. Now, as data continues to grow, it's growing by exponential rates, and you need essentially a cloud solution that we think that can help you scale accordingly. With this in mind, we've added hyperscale capabilities to all of our relational databases. We've got Azure Hyperscale Databases that enables limitless scale that goes far beyond what other cloud providers are doing. Essentially what this amounts to is we can do dynamically and independently scale memory, compute, and storage. So depending upon the shape of your workload and how it comes through, we'll handle that scale for you. You can see that you can get up to hundreds of terabytes worth of data with Azure SQL DB Hyperscale, and you can go up to thousands of cores. And we do all of that work for you, so it works across these. That's amazing support. Now, we're also pleased, therefore, to announce Azure Database for Postgres SQL Hyperscale in general availability today. It's going to give you that really super fast support, that horizontal distribution, again, across data and across all of the database cluster. We'll handle all that work for you. And again, scaling out to thousands of cores for maximum power. Now, next we'll talk about non-relational. This is cases where, of course, we want to optimize for particular types of data. I might have key value store. I might have JSON documents. I may have a graph that I need to keep track of. And so we want to make sure that we can support all of those data types, store them, index and optimize them, and also be able to query easily against them. And hyperscale isn't just for the relational engines that we've got. We also have customers that are building planet-wide scale. And they're doing this with Azure Cosmos DB. It's the world's first globally distributed database service. I can horizontally scale the database and put all the data wherever my users are. Now, it is multimodal by design, and we can actually do relational, non-relational. I can run with Cassandra, MongoDB, SQL, Gremlin, tables, any other solution that you'd want. And the cool thing about this is we can give you single-digit millisecond latency at the 99th percentile and 5 nines reliability of 4 scale that I require. Now, this is trusted by a ton of mission-critical workloads, for everyone from Symantec, Walmart, Johnson Controls, and we're using it in Microsoft as well. It's actually part of the core of Azure itself in the control plane, and it's leveraged by Xbox, Office 365, and GitHub. So we think the technology is fantastic, and we're continuing to add new capabilities, in this case with Autopilot. In this case, we'll take care of the capacity planning that's required. We'll do the automatic scaling without compromising the SLAs, and that allows you to concentrate on the work that you need and let the database continue to do the actual scale bit. Now, as we move forward in data analytics, we know that modern enterprises are increasingly driven by insights. They're generated from customers and products and services, internal processes. It doesn't matter where it comes from. I need an effective solution to be able to reason over it and be able to innovate. And so we have created Azure Analytics. When you're implementing this work, the pattern that we see that people really like is being able to come in First of all, leveraging technology like Azure Data Factory, so I can wrangle my data, get it moved around, pull it in from multiple places, ensure it's in the right spot. When I get it through the pipeline, I want to be able to light it up in Power BI so that everyone on my team can start to create their own dashboards and get that insight. And at the heart of this pattern has been Azure SQL Data Warehouse. And in the past year alone, we have released over 140 new features. And we've seen tremendous customer adoption. Now, what's also cool about this, if you look at this study, Azure Analytics is simply unmatched. You can see that we're up to 14 times faster, and we cost up to 94% less than other cloud competitors that are out there. Definitely read this chart. Smaller is better. That's when you're getting the best price performance out of all of this. And it allows you to pull the pipelines through and, again, take that Azure Analytics plus Power BI and get that insight back and delivered to everyone on your team. We didn't want to just stop there. So what if we could actually simplify analytics? We could make it easier to do. And then also, what if we could leverage the skills that you've already got? Maybe you're not a data scientist, but you are a SQL professional. How about we be able to leverage your skills in your everyday job? In addition to that, we want to apply AI where the data actually lives, rather than trying to move it all over the place. And so in this world, we've often seen that there's been data warehouse solutions and there's been big data solutions. And then I have to go figure out all the plumbing between them. We believe that going forward, these solutions need to continue to converge, where I have stacks that actually figure out, and I don't have to worry about where the data is. Let the technology do that work for you. That's why we're very pleased to announce today the preview of Azure Synapse Analytics. And if we look at the solution for Azure Synapse Analytics, this is the way to think about the stack. It starts off with Azure Data Lake Storage at the base, where I can store any type of volume that I want. And we do exabytes worth of storage. Even in Microsoft, we do petabyte level queries. That's how we actually run the company. We're taking that same technology and we're making it available to you. I can move up into analytics, and I can run things like SQL and Spark and figure out whatever solution makes sense. And I can move into the unified experience with Synapse Studio, where I can orchestrate together and create and manage and monitor all the work that's required in order to do new experiments and experimentation. Now, we're very pleased today that we're going to general availability with provisioned data warehouse, formerly known as Azure SQL Data Warehouse. And we're also announcing the new on-demand query as a service that runs in preview to give you all this technology. Now, I want to bring John McIntyre from the team up and show us the power of Azure Synapse Analytics. John.
Thanks, Jason. Good morning, or good afternoon. In the keynote this morning, we saw a product manager at a gaming company use Azure Synapse to improve user engagement. Imagine I'm a data engineer at the same gaming company, and I'm working with my team on how do I increase player session time. To do that, we really need to understand how players are using our games, and we also need to be able to predict what features and capabilities our game users are going to want to use. To do that, I'm bringing together tons of data. I have player session data. I have, if I can get the mouse working, I have event data streaming in. I have marketing campaign data. I have device data that my device partners are securely sharing using Azure Data Share. All in all, I have just under 3 petabytes of data that I need to analyze. Doing analytics at this scale is extremely challenging. Let me show you how Azure Synapse helps me with this. From within the Synapse workspace, I get all the tools I need to ingest, explore, analyze, and visualize data at scale. I don't have to hop across a million different tools just to get my job done. I can go to the Data Hub to get access to all my data, my file data, my database data, and my data sets. I don't have to configure servers or set up databases or even define a table before I run my first query. I can simply right-click and open a new SQL script, or I can open a notebook and analyze this data using Apache Spark. But I'm a SQL guy, so let's use SQL script. Azure Synapse will automatically detect the type of data that I'm analyzing and generate a SQL statement to sample that data. If I click Run, Synapse is going to use the new on-demand query service to analyze this data that's in my Azure Data Lake Storage account. You can see that within seconds, we have results to that query. Pretty impressive. But I'm also the guy who gets the call when people's queries aren't running as fast as they want them to. Typically, this is because people inside my organization are all competing for the same compute resources. With Azure Synapse, I can provision dedicated compute pools to serve different organizations inside the company. Here you can see I have compute pools for engineering, finance, and marketing. All of these are accessing the same shared data. I'll use the engineering pool to run my next query. I'm going to join data across a Synapse table and a set of Parquet files. This is a query that I wrote earlier that includes device data, session data, and event data. When I click Run, we'll execute that query. Now remember that we have more than a petabyte of event data. So this is when we all wonder, how long is this going to take, and who's going to go get coffee while we all wait? But the good news is Synapse can complete this query in 12 seconds. That's pretty impressive. And within my workspace, I can actually start to visualize this data. Azure Synapse features a cloud-native new SQL distributed query processing engine. So for those of you that like to drag race databases on the weekend, I know I'm one of them, you'll be happy to know that Synapse can complete all TPCH queries at petabyte scale. But let's get back to the results of our query. Here you can see from the results that players with superpowers actually have longer player session duration. So what this means is players with superpowers like invisibility or power up are actually playing the game more. Wouldn't it be cool if we could actually predict which superpower to offer each of our players? I'm not a data scientist, but I've done enough online courses to see, let's see how far that can take me. Fortunately, in Azure Synapse, I can automate the entire process of creating a predictive model. I simply just have to click on some data, and I can create a new experiment. A new experiment will help me build that model. I'll give my experiment a name, call it Game Feature Experiment, and then we'll select our target column for prediction. So we said superpowers. We'll select that. And I'm going to configure my experiment to run on my Synapse Spark pool. I'll go ahead and click Next. And I'm going to leave the task type as classification because we're working from a fixed set of superpowers. I'll click Create, and Synapse will then run that experiment. While that experiment runs, I'm going to go over to an experiment that I ran earlier. Here you can see all the results from my experiment runs. And I use this data to figure out which model is right for me. I'm going to focus on accuracy over here, because I really want to pick the most accurate model. There's nothing worse than getting the wrong superpower. So once I find that right model, I can register it with Azure Machine Learning. When that model is registered with Azure Machine Learning, I can use it from a variety of places, including directly from within SQL. Here you can see a SQL query that I wrote earlier. This query is invoking the predict function. So we're actually using SQL to predict the output. I'm going to run this query, and Synapse will execute the query, generate results, including predicted values. So the cool thing here is I'm using my existing SQL skills to now do predictive analytics. So now we have all this great data, we have these insights, and we're able to do this great prediction. Let's take it across the finish line. I want to make this available to everyone in my organization that's using Power BI. Because Synapse integrates directly with Power BI, I can invoke the Power BI developer experience right from within Synapse. So I'll go and navigate to a Power BI report that I was working on earlier, and I'll load that report right from the Synapse workspace. I can modify that report, and we'll just add some additional fields here to include our recommendation count and our feature type. I'll click Save, and we're done. That report is now available to all Power BI users inside my organization. And because we're streaming data directly into Synapse, if I refresh my report, I'm going to see the latest and greatest data. Azure Synapse has enabled me to deliver this solution faster than was ever possible. And for our game team, we've learned something about our players. It turns out that elite outfits and looking cool is more important than having superpowers. Back to you, Julia.
Thanks, John. Well, I'm now thrilled to have Shri from Unilever here to talk about their data journey and even being an early customer with Azure Synapse and Alexa. Welcome, Shri. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Julia. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. First, just a little bit of, what has Unilever been doing and kind of the business goals you have around your data culture?
Absolutely. As you all know, Unilever is one of the largest CPG companies in the world. Our goal is to actually change the company culture to be a data-driven decision-making organization. So let's take a simple example of a product launch. Say, we want to launch a new Dove shampoo with the hibiscus flavor. I'm just making it up, yeah? So to think about the activities, the planning, the data that's required to launch a product, first our country category business team starts thinking about how much to produce for the launch. Then our marketing team runs a campaign to figure out how effective the campaign is going to be when we launch the product. Then our finance team start looking at, okay, how are we going to measure this, the sales, et cetera. And then our supply chain needs to think about how much inventory to buy to manufacture and logistics, et cetera. So think about the amount of data that we need to process to generate the insights to make this happen.
Got it. All right, so that's the goal, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So what does your current data situation look like, or as you started on this journey?
Yeah, so if you look at Unilever context, we have about 3 interesting challenges. One, before we started this journey, it was hard to get access to the data because we run like any large enterprise. We have about 30+ technology platforms. So data is stuck in the siloed systems. So getting access to data is really hard for us. Then once you get the access to the data is not linked at all. So trying to put together, we spend more time. And then eventually, when you stitch all together, people still don't trust the data. So a very interesting challenge for us because it is all siloed and
So sounds like some real opportunity on that front. So what was the first step from where you were?
So the first step was, as we went into the journey, we invested in a data lake, Azure-based data lake, and where we started ingesting pretty much all of our internal data into a data lake.
Great.
At this point, we are about 85% complete. Pretty much all our SAP, Salesforce data are already available in that.
Got it.
And it's growing. It's about 400 terabytes right now and growing significantly on a daily basis.
All right, so first step, get everything pulled into the data lake. Okay, now what?
So it's not that we just brought in the data trying to figure out what to do. In parallel, what you've done is build a number of analytical products. Now let's just step back to the example I just gave about product launch. Now our country teams now can plan better in terms of how much to manufacture for this new product we're going to launch. So they have the insights available to them. Similarly, our supply chain team has now access to the same data to figure out, how much to source in terms of the raw materials to manufacture this. Equally, the logistics team knows where exactly, how the products are getting shipped in real time. So similarly, even our finance team now has the same data to process and figure out what kind of ROI we are expecting or anticipating from this line. So pretty much, we have taken not only ingested data into the lake, but equally built a number of analytical products to generate insights to the same community.
Great. Now, you were one of the early customers working with us as we developed Azure Synapse Analytics, so thank you for that. And I know you've begun your journey with that. So interested in what you're seeing from those results.
Absolutely. It's been a very early days, as we said. One of the things, our ambition is, while we have built a number of descriptive and diagnostic analytics to accelerate our journey into predictive and prescriptive analytics. And what we have seen so far with Synapse is that this is going to further help accelerate our journey. The other ambition that we have is to democratize analytics through our citizen data scientist community. And we believe that we are super excited with what we have seen so far, that Synapses will enable that capability for our community.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your partnership. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your story.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Awesome, thanks, Julia. So we're going to take it home with artificial intelligence. And we want to, of course, look at AI. AI is experiencing explosive growth across the board. We got over 5 billion cognitive service transactions per month running today with Azure AI. 6 billion documents are processed in cognitive search every single day, and 1 million machine learning experiments have been done every month. So the growth continues at a very fast pace. But we also want to democratize AI. And this is a case where we're seeing this adoption. We want to ensure that defining technology of our time is available to everyone, organizations and employees. We want to make sure that everyone has access to it. And that's why we produced the Azure AI apps and cognitive services solutions. You can have support built in for everything from vision, speech, search, language, as well as decision making. And there's things that I can enter into right away without having to write a lot of code or do a lot of extra work on top of it. And with that, we're also very pleased to announce that we've made general availability with a personalizer support. Personalizer is the industry's first AI service based on reinforcement learning. Now, this solution is actually being used already inside of Microsoft today. Xbox, in fact, is delivering 6 million personalized experiences for its user every single day. Now, we continue to add new capabilities into speech as well, including custom neural voice. And it allows you to kind of create personalized voices that match your brand. And I can use deep neural nets in order to do the training of the audio and the work for that. You can also plug it in with Office 365 and whatever terminology that you have. Now, my team has a lot of 3-letter acronyms. Anybody else? Just me? What's the deal? Okay. Well, my team uses a lot of TLAs. So you think about all of those documents and those terminologies. Well, sometimes speech to text doesn't quite understand what that means. But with Office 365 and that kind of integration, we can actually do a great job on that. Now, let's take a look at some of the benefits that a customer has gotten by leveraging these speech APIs to create brand new features. Let's run the video.
So Spotify's mission has always been about helping millions of creators out there to be able to live off their work. Soundtrap is part of that mission. And now we're launching Soundtrap for Storytellers for collaborative podcast creation available directly in the browser.
Soundtrap for Storytellers is an easy-to-use platform if you want to record a podcast, and then we have a very simple publishing flow, so you can publish your episode straight to Spotify.
Wouldn't it be better if we can actually edit audio as it was a text document? So you just cut and paste and move things around, and then automatically cut and paste the audio for you.
We are using Azure Cognitive Services, or more specifically, the speech service. We needed to find a partner that could provide that in the highest quality possible.
What we wanted to create is something that is super simple to use, catering for everyone that had this creative flow in them. So let's democratize storytelling together.
Now, that was a great example of being able to use the built-in support. Now, we've added support outside of speech as well into knowledge mining with cognitive search. And in this case, you can take all sorts of different types of documents that you have out there, whether I've got face and images, text. I want to extract knowledge from that. We can ingest all of those types of comments into the service, and we can enrich it with built-in models so you can get going right away. You can explore also the immersive search experience that comes with that. And of course, you've got probably a ton of Office 365 data and other assets at your company. So being able to knowledge mine is a really important new key feature and capability. Now, those are some of the built-in pieces that democratize Azure AI. But at the same time, there's cases where you're going to want to get in and actually start doing the machine learning yourself. And that's where we've created Azure Machine Learning. We've designed it in a way that you can start off at any skill level. We also are making sure that we have the best tool chain in there with ML Ops. And it's open and interoperable. So whatever your favorite framework is, your favorite tools that you're doing, you can incorporate it into the system. Now, one of the important things about machine learning ops is being able to set up, in this case, a CI/CD pipeline. But in this case, it's with data scientists and with IT developers and professionals. MLOps enables us to be able to work together in the same way that you're familiar with the CI/CD pipeline. We can create models and verify the reproducibility, do the validation, do deployment. And more importantly, as new data comes in, we can continue to do training and retrain until we get exactly the right results that we want. We want to make sure that we've got that rest kind of investment across all different types of roles and they can work very well together. That gives us the same solutions that we have with DevOps today, but with machine learning ops. Now, if you look at all these investments that we've shown today, from data and workloads, et cetera, they're all for enabling brand new scenarios, really compelling and interesting scenarios. And I'm very excited about what we can do with that. Let's go take a look at some final examples.
Like never before, our world is changing. Faced with some of our most critical challenges, human ingenuity triumphs. Today, the Microsoft AI for Good initiative enables a person with an idea to accelerate it, to give it scale, to create change for the better.
Microsoft AI will help our work by empowering people to take action.
Through AI for Earth, photos can now help save a species. With AI for accessibility, the visual world becomes an audible experience.
Sanitarium peanut butter.
And with AI for humanitarian action, first responders can target their efforts faster than ever before.
It feels humbling to know that I'm actually helping another human being.
Today, we are empowering others to forge new paths, to fight famine before a crisis strikes, and protect ecosystems by identifying forests down to a single tree.
We have the forest that we have today. We can't change that. What we can change is the future.
Microsoft AI is fueling some of the most passionate and creative people on our planet, with the help of citizen scientists, to make change, once thought impossible, real.
AI will know and understand and model based on the child interaction.
AI unleashes new possibilities to impact our world. And together, we're not just dreaming it, we're doing it.
I think those are very exciting scenarios. And I hope that today you've seen all the new technology that we're bringing to you. We can't wait to see what you're going to do with it. We've got a fantastic show. The engineering team, like I mentioned, we're here, we're engaged, we want to hear your feedback. Have a great conference. Thank you very much.